A conscious planet. Our brains, like the rest of our animalia familia, are wired for survival. And like a 19th century child's fixation of sugar-plums on Christmas Eve, visions of food and sex constantly dance through our head. We eat to gain the needed energy to survive, and we reproduce to keep the number of our species strong. So the next time you down your fourth donut while scrolling through Tinder at 3 a.m., remember you're doing it for the good of humanity. But before our life of luxuries made it seamless for food and fun to come straight to the door, we had to work hard to achieve our survival needs. This isn't some rant your grandfather tells you about how much harder things were when he was your age when he worked in a farm or whatever things adolescent grandpas do. Because his paleolithic predecessor could give him the same lecture. Oh, you had to wake up at 5 a.m. to water the crops and steal a chicken's baby. Well, yesterday, I woke up to a leopard in my cave, gnawing on my 2-year-old and had to fight a giant kangaroo over a handful of seeds. Now, it's easy to be human. All you truly need is a warm room with the occasional slop bucket left outside the door. You can leave the reproduction part to your cooler cousin who hit puberty before you. Instead, in today's world, it is harder to be an individual. With an endless supply of entertainment and opportunities to keep you occupied, there's a social pressure to stand out as an individual who broadcasts every aspect of their life. But instead of looking for the nearest slop bucket to escape the anxiety of modern life, we want to provide ease by stripping away your individuality and present the case for your purpose in life's grander scheme by evaluating your potential part in planetary intelligence. First up is with our 6-legged friends, the ants. You might think you're better than an ant. And why wouldn't you? You're bigger and can take a magnifying glass like a champ. But if 1998 animated movies taught us anything, we're not so different from ants. Ants are a social species who work together to accomplish tasks within their colony. Every ant plays their own role to better their community, whether it be providing food, caring for the youth, expanding and protecting their kingdoms, or sacrificing themselves for their royalty. I mean, if this was your queen, wouldn't you? In many ways, ants live in a social structure similar to us, yet they function as a collective unit, perhaps with a collective intelligence, to accomplish their communal goals. If we did not view our own intelligence as inherently individual, could we also live and work in unity this way? Astrophysicist Adama Frank thinks so. In fact, he believes that humans, like ants and all other living organisms, are a part of the planet's own collective intelligence. In February of 2022, Frank and researchers David Grinspoon and Sarah Walker published a potentially revolutionary paper arguing that intelligence might not just be something that happens on a planet, but instead it happens to a planet. To explore this possibility, we want to play everyone's favorite galactic game show. Are you smarter than a big-ass space rock? That's right, it's you versus the planet you call home, to find out who's smarter once and for all. The rules of the game are simple. In 4 categories, we'll ask you a series of questions to see if you can match wits with planet Earth, to find out if intelligence happens on a planetary scale. And who knows, maybe we'll all learn a little something along the way. Now let's get this game going. The superiority of individual intelligence is on the line. And before I forget, I'm your host, Jack Daniel. Question 1. How did intelligence come to be on Earth? Earth is approximately 4.54 billion years old, which is almost as old as your mom. Your moon. Earth formed when our solar system settled into its current layout as clouds of swirling dust and gas from a supernova explosion came together under a gravitational pull. In its infancy, Earth was a magma sphere that cooled over millions of years, eventually forming a crust, atmosphere, and oceans. Scientists believe that these formations are the product of volcanic burps or comets colliding with Earth, releasing gas and water to the surface. These developments, in congruence with Earth's placement to the Sun, laid the building blocks of Earth being the ideal location for the emergence of life in our solar system. And so life did. Approximately 3.7 billion years ago, microscopic organisms, or microbes, first appeared in Earth's waters. Over billions of years, these microbes, along with their intelligence, evolved into bacteria, multicellular organisms, animals, and eventually, us. Which brings us to our next question. Question 2. Where is the biosphere? The biosphere is everywhere on Earth that life exists. From the tiny moss piglet to the Godzilla hiding under Australia ready to end us at any second, every species that evolved from the first microbes compose life on Earth. Conventionally, we see the intelligence of all species based on the individual. But Frank argues that the biosphere holds a collective intelligence. As ant colonies seemingly operate in unison for the greater whole, there is a belief that all species have and are evolving in congruence with intelligence on a planetary scale. Frank describes planetary intelligence as the acquisition and application of collective knowledge, operating on a planetary scale, which is integrated into the function of coupled planetary systems, or, in our words, a biological kumbaya. Question 3. How does planetary intelligence work? The notion that all species on Earth make up a complex adaptive system, instead of many individual ones, comes from the Gaia hypothesis. First developed by James Lockwood and further established by Lynn Margulis, the Gaia hypothesis refers to the theory that the biosphere is able to maintain its global conditions, such as average temperature, keeping the planet habitable based on feedback on life and planetary chemistry. From the beginning, our cute little microbes influenced climate regulation. If you're curious if single-celled organisms know what they're doing, there is evidence to suggest that they do. Defining know what to do by the mechanism animals acquire, process, store, and act upon information from the environment, intelligence can be seen in single-cell organisms' wide arrays of responding to their environment and even communicating through expressions with auto-indication. So the next time you see bacteria make this face, know you've messed up. The Gaia hypothesis suggests that the regulated surface of the planet incessantly creates new environments and organisms, with Earth as Gaianan regulatory physiology that transcends all individual organisms. Life took over the planet by cooperating, not combating. And Gaia is not to be seen as an individual, but as the emerging property of interaction between organisms and the planet they reside on. Science Part 2 for double the points. Question 4. What is the Technosphere? Let's speed past billions of years after life's origins to get to a more modern time, in the age of Homo sapiens. Humans function in their own complex adaptive system, but since the invention of agriculture, we have drastically impacted the Earth's network as well. Through our use of technology, humans have become the driving force in intelligence, shaping and regulating the planet. We have initiated a new geological epoch, called the Anthropocene, and have transcended the biosphere into a technosphere. Frank considers the technosphere a necessary stage for a planet to maintain intelligence on a global scale, and the route for said intelligence to successfully regulate the planet to near perfection. So if there is planetary intelligence, humans have appointed themselves the team captain, and currently, the game is on the line. Question 5. The essay portion. Humans seem to have a flaw in this evolutionary system, as the survival of our species and the planet has come second to individuals' conquest for social hierarchy. We are capable of great things for the betterment of the planet, while also being the culprits of destroying it. Finding solutions to global warming furthers the idea that our intelligence fits in the Gaia hypothesis, as we work together to develop the technosphere to establish the next phase of planetary intelligence and the progress that comes with it. However, on the other side, nuclear war dangles above us like a global suicide waiting to happen. And unless Auszilla wakes up first, it is yet to be seen how we will handle this pressure. So for our final question, take this time to self-reflect and write a 3,000-word essay on if you believe that humanity will complete intelligence on a planetary scale and bring Earth and all living organisms on it into a harmonious future that billions of years of organisms have worked towards. Or if the selfishness of man is too great of an obstacle to overcome for our species, and our planet will fail like many others in the universe may already have. Don't worry, we'll give you some time to work on it. We'll wait here until you're back.
Jack, honey, get back to bed. It's late.
Sorry, Anastasia, I can't right now.
But Jack, I'm so cold without you by my side.
I'm sorry, I need to finish this.
Are you recording another one of those science mystery videos? And why are you wearing that funny little hat?
It's called a beret.
Is your video about how intelligence might not be how we previously viewed it on an individual basis, but instead a part of a collective scale with all living organisms, and if we do not take the proper steps in fixing our mistakes and regulating our environment, we will doom us all?
Yes. Yes, it is.
And ants have something to do with it?
Yes, and ants have something to do with it.
Oh, I understand now. I know what you have to do.
For science.
For science!
And that's our game, folks. I hope you had as much fun playing as we did hosting. Don't worry if you got every question wrong. With planetary intelligence, if one person got it right, we all did. We're in this thing together, whether we like it or not. So let's see what you've won. That's right, you've won an all-inclusive trip to galaxies beyond our own. With collective intelligence on a planetary scale, we'll be able to solve our problems on Earth and venture into space to find other civilizations like ours that also survived the Great Filter with planetary intelligence. However, if our calculations are wrong and we end up losing the game, well, that sucks. Let's get our shit together. If not for us, let's do it for the ants.
And the sponsor of this video, Magic Spoon cereal. Magic Spoon cereal is a cereal which is quite delicious, but also magically extremely healthy instead of just being magically delicious. I am surprised this stuff wasn't made a long time ago. It almost feels like certain larger corporations wanted to get you addicted to all the sugar they were serving you for breakfast, using boxes of Olympic athletes on them, saying that they contain some vitamin C. But nowadays, unless you're a child, you're an adult, and maybe you want to get back that nostalgic feeling of eating cereal every morning for breakfast, but without spiking your insulin, because the cereal was made from pure sugar when you were a kid, thus causing you to have an insulin spike in the morning, becoming quickly tired afterwards, and probably the reason for you having difficulty paying attention in 4th grade. But look at this stuff. It has 14 grams of protein per serving. This is almost more of a protein supplement than it is a cereal. 4 grams of net carbs and 0 sugar. A high protein breakfast is proven to not affect insulin levels as opposed to a high carbohydrate one. You're basically eating a mixture of pure whey and casein protein, as it's literally the #1 ingredient on the ingredients list. To sweeten the cereal, the creators used a blend of allulose, a sugar naturally found in figs or raisins, and monk fruit extract. Both are natural alternative sweeteners, with calories that, interestingly, the body does not seem to absorb due to the biochemistry of them. And that's followed up with some pretty high quality oils containing unsaturated fats like avocado oil, which just has a tremendous amount of research in terms of its benefits, and then high oleic sunflower oil, shown to reduce total and LDL cholesterol by 10%. A high protein breakfast increases satiety throughout the day, lowers the craving to eat food as a coping mechanism for stress, and positively affects other hormonal and neural signals. But how does this super healthy magic cereal taste? Well, luckily, I have a bunch of boxes. So let's taste them. First, we have peanut butter. I like my cereal dry. I don't know how they did this, but it does taste like a Reese's peanut butter cup. It's got fruity. It tastes kind of fruity, like another cereal that you may know about that has the word fruity in it. Frosted. This is a bit sweeter. Not as powerful as a flavor of the peanut butter one, but I still like it. So if you want to regain that kid-like nostalgia of eating cereal during breakfast without giving yourself diabetes as an result, but instead packing yourself with protein or just want a quick snack sometime that's quick and healthy, I'm surprised it's the only cereal, or I'm just surprised no one's thought of this before. Anyways, click the link below or go to magicspoon.com/strange mysteries to get $5 off your first variety pack. Do it now.